In the last year, there's been an 84% increase in searches for electric vehicles on Autotrader. So this week, we're looking at 3 popular Volt Eaters based on how people look for them. This is the Renault Zoe, a 5-door, 5-seater that was launched in 2013. 3 years later, it was Europe's best-selling electric vehicle. Recently refreshed, it is the cheapest car here to own on a PCP deal.
This week I've got Kia's Soul EV. Has it got any soul? It's an electric car, so we'll see. I do like the chunky urban styling. We'll see how it does on the road.
And I've got the coolest offering, the dinky BMW i3 S. The S stands for sport, and I can see Vicki eyeing it up already. If you're used to the inside of a BMW, you may be a bit surprised by the i3. It's really light and spacious in here, and you get some extra natural light from the really big windscreen. It's really fun in here, and it doesn't look too silly or futuristic. And there's lots of this nice recycled material too, which is a nice little talking point.
The interior of the Kia Soul EV is by anyone's standards pretty dull, but that's sort of the point. Kia don't want you to be scared about the electric technology in this car, so it looks very car-like. We have got some blue stitching around here and here, and we've got some white gloss inserts which are nice, but apart from that, it's pretty grey.
You can easily be fooled into thinking that you're sitting in a normal super mini because you've got a traditional looking automatic gear lever and a manual handbrake. The overall design is bright, breezy and modern, but it just lacks the luxury that you get from the i3. So the 2 biggest issues you have with electric cars are how long out of my life is it going to take to charge up, and most importantly, range anxiety. But it also depends on, whether I'm carrying 2 gorgeous girls, or it's cold outside, I've got the heating on, got the sat nav on, everything is zapping energy.
The car makers can make them as good as they like, but if the charging infrastructure isn't there, you're always going to have range anxiety about where you're going to recharge.
Yep. This is the slowest and least powerful of our trio. It's got 92 horsepower, but it does a really good job of just nipping around a city in particular. I think it is a very good, easy car to live with. It's got a great turning circle, and it's just quite a cheerful thing to drive. The lights on the instrument panel light up in 3 colours to tell you if you're driving as efficiently as possible. Green for good, blue for so-so, and purple for inefficient. I'm plumping for purple.
The Zoe comes out worse here in the back for several reasons. One, the isofix are almost impossible to reach. They're really well hidden. I can't feel this one on this side at all. Also, I'm 5'6.5", and my head is pretty much touching here, and I tried the sides and they weren't much better. So good luck to anyone 6 foot trying to fit in here.
You get a relatively small 7-inch touchscreen in the Zoe, which controls the radio, Bluetooth and sat-nav. It's pretty intuitive to use, but I would say not as intuitive as the BMW system.
Not as good looking either.
No, and DAB is available on the middle, dynamic and top of the range signature trim, and you can also get a fancy Bose sound system on the top trim as well. And you can control your charging via a smartphone app and preset the temperature of the car, which would be quite handy, so you're not wasting that precious battery.
It's definitely a cheeky, quite fun car that I'd be happy to live with, predominantly if I was just doing some city driving. The regenerative braking is actually very smooth in here.
Listen, Vix, I bought this car here. You better not have anything switched on. I don't want radio, heater, windscreen wipers, lights.
Heated steering wheel.
Heated steering wheel, heated seats, off.
That is like a jingle from some sort of breakfast TV.
Isn't that nice?
So performance-wise then, this car is in the middle of our trio. It's got 109 horsepower and it takes 11.2 seconds to hit 62 miles an hour. Range-wise, it's also in the middle. Kia says that you could do 132 miles between fill-ups. But if I put it into mode B, which is sort of maximum brake regenerative mode, then it harnesses everything from when I lift my foot off the throttle to when I'm braking, and all that energy goes back into the battery. But it does make sort of deceleration quite sharp.
Yeah, you feel that. You feel it in the back as well.
What else is in the back there, Erin?
Pretty much nothing. It's like a nuclear winter in the back here. We've got cargo nets on the back of your seats. And there's a cup holder in each of the door pockets, but that's it. There's good ISOFIX though. The brackets are really easily accessible, and in theory there's room for 3 adults along the back here.
And there's only one trim to choose from in the Zoe Evie.
Grey.
The grey, pastel, family friendly, wipe clean. So with that you get an 8-inch touchscreen which comes with software to monitor your range and things like that. DAB, you've got one USB port and Bluetooth, and you also get a reversing camera which is optional on both the BMW and the Renault.
It's pretty highly spec'd as standard.
One thing I love about electric cars though is the silence.
The ability to mow
Erin.
down.
Of the three, this is definitely the one that is most geared towards a driver. It is by far the most potent, and it will take just 6.9 seconds to get to 62 miles an hour, which is seriously impressive. It's the only one to send its power to the rear wheels, therefore I have more fun. It's got a sport suspension, it's got a mode that quickens up the steering response and the throttle response, and also it sits on big chunky 20-inch tyres. Tech-wise, Rach, where are we?
Instead of your usual instrument cluster, you've just got a screen in front of you and then this wider 10.25-inch screen in the middle.
It's very funky.
Yeah, which is standard, and that comes with an improved version of BMW's iConnected service and voice recognition, along with DAB, sat-nav, USB port and Bluetooth. And we've got heated seats again.
Woo! But it's slightly style over substance in the back here because we've lost the middle seat and instead you've got 2 cup holders, so no 5 people in this car.
I adore the way that Rachel and I have got a sort of walk-through floor. I think that's fantastic.
Knees together.
A little bit of footsie there in the front.
But you can't open the rear doors with my seatbelts on or your seatbelt on because we'll just get carotid, which is a slight design flaw.
Do you think eating crisps in an electric vehicle is more or less noisy than eating an apple?
I'd say an apple because I could hear each droplet of juice.
But with crisps you've got the packet.
They smell really meaty.
Oh, they do. What flavour are they?
So meaty.
Rizzo.
Crinkle.
Very posh.
Each of these has its merits. The Kia takes the shortest amount of time to charge its battery up to 80%. The BMW is the most stylish and performance oriented, but it is the Renault which goes the furthest between fill-ups and is the cheapest to run, and it is our winner.